Alright, I'm back again. I really have, I'll just call it 2.5 things to talk about because two are pretty related and can be lumped in together. There has been talks that a CIA whistleblower has come forward saying that people were paid off to dispute the claims of COVID starting in the lab in Wuhan. And that it was naturally occurring. Trust me when I say there will be a link to that. It's funny that this is coming out because this is the lab that the United States government, Fauci himself went before Congress and said, we ain't funding them, before I think it was June, July of this year, announced that we were cutting off the funding to said lab. You know, what else are they lying to us about? What else is the United States government lying to us about? Just, are you waking up yet? That's what I want to know. At what point do the people wake up and realize that, yes, the government really is funding labs abroad to create these nasty things and release it, and they get released out on us? What else have they done? These are the things going through my mind. And people are just turning a blind eye to it, seemingly. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like it. And I don't understand why more people are not pissed off over it. That's just me. We go back to the whole, follow the science, follow the science. Well, it's kind of hard to follow the science when the science is heavily censored by the government. You have people like Dr. Robert Malone, the father of mRNA and mRNA vaccine technology, wiped off the internet. As it now seems as though the United States government was behind that. Thankfully, I think the Fifth Circuit has put a stay on that, saying, no, that's a violation of the First Amendment, which, by the way, it is. And I'm not just ranting because, you're saying this is Biden. No, it could be Trump behind it. Might have been behind it too. I don't care. It's wrong to do that. Simply put, they tried to censor away. The government tried to utilize censorship to silence people and prevent the truth from coming out. That's what we're now seeing. And by the way, I'm just going to let you know that any right that you have that can be taken away by the government like that is not actually a right at that point. And any government that seeks to take away your rights is not a legitimate government in my book. That's just my thought on that, but and the thing is, people are like, people could have died. This could save lives. I don't care. A right is still a right. The right to have and voice opinions is a right. The right to keep and bear arms is a right. And the thing is, our rights need to be protected. We the people need to protect those rights, because if we don't, they go away. Think about it. How often do you see rights, some type of liberty or freedom taken away, and then all of a sudden, once whatever it is over, they just happily give it back to you? How often do you actually see that? Usually it requires a fight. So we need to be proactive. We need to be protective of these things. And by the way, links to both the CIA whistleblower and the United States government cutting off funding to the Wuhan Lab, that will be below. I come bearing citations. the last thing I want to talk about is the day after Speaker McCarthy had his office, protesters storm his office, which I'm waiting for the charges of treason and sedition and all that stuff. It's coming after all the January 6th crap, right? He has decided to submit for a formal request for impeachment on Biden. I have not had an opportunity to actually look into detail on this, but it looks like, let's face it, this can only mean one thing. In the next week or so, there's going to be some very bad news for Trump and his family. But yeah, based off of some of the things that have come out, like the pseudonym emails for Biden, multiple of them going out on his son's business dealings and stuff like that, and at the very least creating the air of having direct access to the at that time sitting vice president. I think this is serious cause for alarm. And I don't know if he can actually be impeached for this, since it was took place before he was president. I don't. But something does need to come of it. And especially when you see some of the questionable things going on with the Justice Department and Hunter Biden that's coming out on that. Oh, good Lord Almighty. The only thing I can think of is they're trying to find a way to knock Biden out before 2024. I think they were holding out hopes that somehow or another his cognitive decline would not be as bad as it is, but it is, and I just don't. I mean, they're seemingly trying to keep Kamala out of the news because that's the only way they're going to rehab her, is keep her out of sight, out of mind. But yeah, the more I see, the more I'm convinced the more I'm convinced Biden's not going to make it out of this first term. And he very well might still do it, but I just don't. It seems like they are gunning for him. They're just using a different tactic than was used under Trump. But we go back to my election prediction. If it's not Trump versus Biden, who would it be? Right now, I'm not convinced the alternative has announced their candidacy yet. I don't see Harris being able to do it. Newsom's trying, but I don't think he can do it. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. Like I said, I'll have some links down below. I'll even throw a link into the whole Biden impeachment thing. Because like I said, I haven't had an opportunity to do a deep dive into it to know the ins and outs of it. And yeah, I know I've been shying away from the whole COVID talk, but since a lot of the censorship was pushed by the government and the courts are saying you can't do that, I'm willing to give it a shot. Anyway, let me know what you think. Later.